Welcome back. This is another course preview. My name is John Langenbacher. I will be your host for this one, and Carter's out today, so he allowed me to hop in for him. So I want to thank Just Been Discing again for sponsoring him. They've been a big help for him as he's getting into his disc golf career. Just turned 16 this year, so he's still a youngin', but he is performing very well. I'm looking forward to a good year this year. So this is a course preview for Sioux Passage, which is North St. Louis, par 58, 7,855 feet. So today we had some decent weather as far as the temperature is concerned, but it was a very windy day. So we had gusts up to close to 40 miles an hour. So going to hole one here, it's par 3, 324 feet. This hole is just a straight shot. You can't really see the pin from the tee, but it's a straight shot in between these two trees running you up to the basket here. So not a lot of trouble here. This Carter's ripping us A3 up there. Got a little left on him. These Guardians don't really come into play on this hole. We got a couple other trees up by the basket here. But this is a beautiful course. Once again, it's located in North St. Louis at Florissant, Missouri. It's a pretty tough course. Little elevation changes. We can see here on hole number 2 is par 3, 402 feet. There's a big valley that you cross here. And the hole is basically flat, so the pin is the same height as the tee pad. But it's pretty fun to throw. You got a big volley to throw over here. And once again, you do have a bunch of trees around the pin. So Carter's taking a force here. You're probably just going to throw a simple hyzer out to the right. So that's probably the most common route. You can see his disc bouncing up and down. It was so windy today. So you can go around the other side. So for the lefty backhand, as Carter hits the cage in and tap in for par there. You could do a righty flick on the other side over there as well. Okay, getting into hole number 3. This is listed at 510 feet, par 3. There are some trees to the right. You can either go low under those, or you can try to pierce this gap here, which will take it right down to the little valley with the pin sitting at the bottom here on this sloped decline. Really tough hole. If you don't get off the tee here, it makes it a lot harder. But there's really no big righty hyzer here, so I think Carter, being right-hand backhand, is going to sort of throw that flex line here. For lefties, there's a pretty wide open line going from left to right, or for the forehand flick. Carter just clips a tree there. He had a really good pull on that one. Probably would have been close to pin high. He's got to jump putt into this basket here for a nice tap-in par. What's up, dude? Alright, so this one was marked incorrectly today. We did laser this. So this is the par 3, 438 feet. This is straight uphill. So this is a hard hole to get in one. Well, to get up to the pin by one. But if you get a 2 on this, you're gaining strokes on folks, as they say. So this pin is tucked in a little bit close to the side here. You can see there's a deeper pin location on there. There is a little gap to get out. You do not want to be left here. When that wind hollering sort of push Carter's disc into that stuff and gets hung up in the trees there. So really this hole is 438 feet. You probably have to throw a 550-foot shot to even get up near the pin. You want to avoid what Carter went into here in the left side. And the right side is pretty open. There are some trees that have some low-hanging branches up by the pin, so you might have to have a low ceiling up shot. And Carter, you can see, pulls out a little bit of this awkward stance here, so be putting for a par. All right, we're going to tap in for a bogey there. All right, moving on to hole number 5 here. So hole number 5 is a par 3, 285 feet. Okay, we have some pretty flat terrain coming up into a little pocket in the woods here, and the basket is set down on the bottom there. It's a little bit downhill. There are some roots guarding the slide down to the basket and some guardian trees around it. So Carter throwing a super overstable disc. Forehand here, he just missed that tree off of the pin there. And looks he had a decent shot, just got caught up right before going down in there. So, and it is downhill to the pin. So missing your putt here will leave you about another 30-footer coming back up the hill. Carter tapping in now here. Okay, moving on to hole 6. Okay, so today hole 6 is a par 3, 339 feet. Okay, you're gonna see a big valley as we're going down a right hand. The hyzer is wide open. And past these cedar trees, you can see the pin sneaking up on us there. You definitely do not want to be left on this hole. You can see those trees blowing like crazy. So the righty side is wide open here. As Carter throws an FD3, didn't look like he was too happy with that shot. Yeah, and I missed his upshot, so he just tapping in for his par here. So this is hole number 7. Okay, this is a par 3 again. We're coming through the woods, 315 feet. And this tree normally isn't there. That tree got knocked down, I assume, because of the wind recently. So I walked a different gap up to the pin. This is a tough get. Par 3, 315, and you got to navigate the woods. So a typical route is going to be up the middle, and Carter decided to try to shoot the little gap here to the right, and he buttered it. It's a real nice shot. That's not the typical route that you would probably seen taken here. You go right up the middle and try to get to the pin through the middle, but he parked it. That was a nice shot. Okay, moving on to hole 8. This is a par 3. Today playing at 248 feet, so this is a duplicate of a couple holes ago. I think hole 4 or 5, I don't remember which one, but a little pocket in the woods here to the left, downhill to the basket. You've got some guardians on the floor, so there's roots, and you got some trees that are sort of guarding around the basket there. So just a nice little righty backhand here. And try to penetrate the woods. And Carter got in there decently. A little look for a 2 here. Yeah, nice putt. He hits that. So this Sioux passage is used for quite a few tournaments here in St. Louis. As Carter dodged a disc. A couple other people playing with us today when we recorded this. So this is hole number 9. Going straight up the hill here. Today playing as a par 3. 402 feet. I think this typically plays as a par 4 during tournaments, but it's listed as a par 3 at this pin location. Okay, a couple trees surrounding the basket there, but your biggest thing is to get out of this gap. And that's probably a little 15-foot gap at the top. Carter decides to go with a little roller here, but I mean, just getting it out on top there is the challenge for this hole. You see the wind carrying these discs all over the place. And then Carter trying to finish off his 9th hole here. And this course is used for a lot of tournaments, like I've been saying, and Carter is actually playing in a tournament here coming up.
No. It's halftime. Yeah!
Thanks, boys. The youngins that were with us having a little party there. Thanks for that. We have hole number 10 here. We're halfway through. Par 3, 372 feet. This is straight uphill. This requires a massive shot off the tee to get anywhere near the pin. As you can see, straight uphill with the wind blowing today. You've got definite trouble left, which Carter decides to find here. And you don't want to be right as well. Carter ended up in the woods there and just pitching out here. It's about all you have from that left side there. But we're on top of the disc golf course here in Florissant, Sioux. And he gave that one a little push. You can see the wind is blowing like crazy today and just lifting these discs up. Yeah, beautiful course. You can see it's open. There are some wooded regions, but a lot of par 3s that are super long. So hole 11 going back down the hill here. We have a par 3, 405 feet. As we get to the back, you can see this parking lot to the right. The front 9 holes are on the other side of the woods there. So you have to walk a decent way to get to hole 10. You walk down the street there. And now the back is all on top of this hill here. So hole 11, once again, there is OB deep in the parking lot. You want to miss these woods here. There's really not a righty hyzer here. As Carter tried a little ante shot, got a little over on it. But you can see the basket down there by the tree, and if you go too far, that parking lot will get you as an OB stroke. Okay, he's tapping in here. All right, moving on to hole 12, going back up the hill. So this is a par 3, 363 feet. Once again, this is a massive pump from the tee to get it up there. There is OB left and the tall grass. So any tall grass you see here is going to play OB, and the road past the pin is also OB here. So you can see we are going straight uphill. And not much trouble off the tee. Really not much trouble on this hole at all, as long as you don't hit the weeds to the left, but weeds to the left would be a pretty big shank. So Carter throwing I think he said a FD2 up top, and just really playing this for par. You really have to throw about a 500-foot shot up in the air to even get close to this pin. So he tapping in for his par there. This is probably one of the most famous or iconic holes in St. Louis. So this is way down the hill. This is a hole 13, par 3, 561 feet. That is a bomb. But throwing down the hill here, you have OB road left. You have OB road and parking lot right. And this pin is stuck right in between them. So the pin is about circle 1 distance, so about 33 feet to each side. You got a little curbs that could catch you on the right side there, but we're going to have a little fun with this. So Carter's going to throw his shot. He throws his Pioneer.
58.
And that carries straight OB. So, and I'm just going to let this play out. Everybody's having a little fun.
I'm going to throw my Starfire.
Parking lot? Oh man. He's having fun. Will it go? Will it go right? Oh! Oh, wind.
Not flipping. We got a tailwind.
One's a part destroyer, the other one's a part destroyer.
Oh, we gonna take him out?
Yeah, that's good, that's good, that's good.
Ah!
No!
Flip. 65?
Thank you, Win.
Like I said, we're just having fun here, and this is my farthest shot I've ever thrown so far at 614 feet.
Coming back.
Nope. Went way out of bounds. Went far.
In the tree.
You said that being sarcastic.
I said you're
It's not being sarcastic. 63.
Oh, look at it.
Throw another one, Dad. I'll bet you trying to mess you up. 34. Wait, have any of us?
Carter throwing his farthest shot ever here. 67 mile an
Oh,
hour.
those woods are going to stop it before it can make it all the way.
Right into the woods. 652 feet. So, a little fun there. You ever come to Sioux Passage, and stand up there and rip as many as you can on hole 13. It's probably a good 100 plus foot drop, it seems like, all the way down to the pin there. But all right, moving on. Hole 14. Moving to the next par 3, 369 feet. Seems to be a common theme here is some decently long par 3s. Okay, this sets up for a righty ante, a forehand flick, or a lefty backhand. So you got to pin down the hill here. You got some guardian trees. Really tough to get to this basket. You got to get it high enough to get down there. Definitely don't want to go short right. You got OB left. Other than that, I don't typically think there's any OB around the basket itself. Carter threw a decent shot here on top of the hill. That thing hit and stuck. It's hard to get a righty ante to stick here. Run a decent putt there. So pretty fun hole. Moving on to hole 15. This is a par 3. Once again, a long one. You got 482 feet. Okay, you got trouble, natural OB right. You got OB left in the tall grass. And this pin is going to be staged up on top of this flat portion. So we're going back uphill as we head to the top of the course here. This tree really doesn't come into play. But typically just lay one out in the fairway and try to get your 3 here for most of us mere mortals. And Carter's throwing a felon here. Rips on it 63, and actually a really decent shot. Doesn't really have a good line to the pin, so he's laying out there and taking his par here, which is a natural play here. 2 here is a really good shot. Okay, so we have hole 16, par 4, 668 feet. You have OB right, you have OB left. Didn't say anything about the basketball court deep, but I assume in a tournament that would probably play OB. And you can see the pin here right next to those 2 trees. But number one thing is to stay in bounds off the tee. Once again, it was so windy today, it's hard to predict what a disc is going to do. So that disc didn't flip at all on Carter, and he goes straight into the OB. Okay, so typical play, if you have a decent drive off of this. Oh, and Carter spits out there. Good play there in the fairway, and you should have a nice little easy pitch up to the pin. Hole 17, par 3, 414 feet. This is a pretty tough hole. You got to put a huge ante, or not ante, a big hyzer up in the air to wrap around this corner and try to pin it. But there's so many trees and woods that guard this basket. I would be very impressed for anyone who ever gets a 2 on this. Okay, you got OB right, you got natural OB left, and then Carter's doing what probably most people do is just sort of lay it up and then pitch in for your par. And he pins his upshot for an easy par. Okay, last hole of the day, hole 18. Once again, a par 3, a long one. So 489 feet, got natural OB left. Okay, you don't want to be in the woods. You got actual OB in the tall grass right. You get the traverse over this hill here down to a pin. These trees around the basket typically aren't any problem. Okay, sliding up to the basket here to finish off your round. And this does go downhill, so that 489 seems a little easier sometimes. Carter burns over on one here and cut rolls. But he stayed out of the woods. He was just right on the edge, and I missed his upshot. It's a little pitch up here to try to save the par here. A nice little putt there. All right, so there you go. That is a course preview for Sioux Passage there. And Carter shot a +5. It's probably not a great round. The wind made it pretty rough today. One tough hole for him. But great course. Once again, you come out here, hole 13 is that big downhill. That's always a fun hill to rip up a bunch of shots at. So thanks, Carter, for letting me commentate. Thanks, Jess Ben Diskin, again, for being a great sponsor for Carter. They've had a great relationship. I'm looking to the future with them together. And we'll have more videos coming out here. So stay tuned. We'll see you guys in the next one.